Evening, everybody. How are we doing?
You going, Joe? You all right?
I'm good, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm a little bit lively after today. It's one of those days at the farm today that been dealing with like high-end koi for don't know, maybe over 15 years now. And today was just one of those days where you just go, that's something a little bit special. Like
Yeah,
it's been achieved for those of you that didn't clock it on Facebook or YouTube or all the platforms that it was across. Today was the harvest of the main Sakai and Danichi pond up at the farm. And yeah, results were, we had a couple of clients up as well that had fish that were purchased and waiting to come out. Yeah, I mean, the body mass on all the fish was just nuts. For me, like, I know like the Kouhaku, a lot of them, there were quite a few sold ones in and amongst the mix, but yeah, just the standard across the board was just insane.
yeah. I think like the Dragon Ball stuff really impressed me today. Because I think we've seen quite a lot of Sanke this year, and obviously with the Takano stuff. And I wouldn't want to take away from the good stuff we've seen, but I still feel like those look amazing. But there's like further development in them. You can see like the potential in so many of them that's 3 or 4 years could be real top quality pieces. And it's not just a top quality piece; it's a above that, if you know what I mean. Like they could be really special.
I guess like you can, I like to think that I'm quite objective when it comes to koi. If someone shows me a good koi, doesn't matter whether it's gone through my hands, Rick's hands, your hands, or a dealer that we're not affiliated or deal with. Good fish, you've got to be objective and impartial when it comes to appraising koi, in my opinion. Okay, you might differ with the vision of a fish and where you think it's going to go, but I think if you look at a good fish, and it's a good fish, but there are levels out of that pond today that would not look at a place in some of the top breeders in Niigata. And I think for me, that's you can't ask for
Yeah,
more of that. I think growing wise, we're on par in some cases, exceeding what can be achieved in mud ponds
yeah.
in 3,500 gallons of water. It's just nuts, like just absolutely insane. And that sumi style, the skin, condition of the fish was just number one across the
Mm.
board. It was just, yeah, awesome.
I
Awesome.
think Rick said that some of them were, I think they were about 18 months, 51, 52 centimeters on the biggest. I mean, that's
Yeah,
just
52, I think, was the biggest that come out. Yeah,
crazy.
just nudging into 18 months old. So, yeah, I mean, you're looking at sort of finishing Nisai probably in the region of 65,
Yeah, yeah,
if,
crazy.
give or take. Obviously, we had the one fish that really sort of jumped out at me was the Takano Sanke.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
so the champion of the Takano event, the client actually said to us, would it be possible to grow it at the farm? And yeah, we sort of said, yeah, let's see what we can do. It was an awesome piece, and yeah, it come out today, and oh my god,
yeah.
it's insane.
It's not often you get a fish that's got a body like that with skin like that and pattern. It's just got every attribute, hasn't it?
Normally, like when you push them on the food, the Benny or the Shiroji or something is taken away because
Yeah,
the fish is trying to get big. It's spreading those pigment receptors. Everything about it says that it shouldn't have glowing skin like that when it's growing. But it was just, yeah, it was an absolute slab as well.
yeah, it was. But we've got some interesting pieces tonight. I think we're just about ready. If you are, we'll get started with the auctions. We've got a
Yeah,
mix
no worries,
of
mate.
stuff tonight, haven't we? So another kind of broad range of varieties. Starting off with this little Kokai Kajaku.
Yeah, I think it's one of those sort of varieties that people see the finished product and they want it, but attaining it is quite difficult. So what I've seen with this sort of kokai development, this sort of style, he's got an interesting slant on his kajaku. They actually get the beni starts to clear up a little bit as it ages. So you see just on that dorsal there, along that spine, that sort of window of beni that's opening up.
Yeah.
That's quite atypical of sort of this, what looks a little bit darker at a younger age, occurring as it gets older. I guess like some people might class it as sort of kawaii, sort of one of these oddities. It's not kajaku per se, but yeah, for the purpose of sort of labeling it at this point. But real oddity, nice step pattern. I think moving forward, nice metallic shine to that beni pattern. Nice clean fish. I think, yeah, moving forward for sort of 50 odd quid. It's not a bad shout.
Can't go wrong, really. I've heard that some people refer to these as beni kajaku. There's a comment in red kajaku. Is that a variety term or?
I think it's an endorsement term. So you do get a lot of people saying beni kajaku. I remember when it started coming around a while back, maybe like 15 years ago or so. I think Kawakami at the time was prattling around with some kajaku, and they were like red. But it's maintaining that pigment is difficult as they age. So yeah, it's maintaining that real deep red, which is what people typically associate with that sort of term, is difficult.
Yeah, and not easily achieved on metallic fish, let alone like I guess normal, koi rather than metallic koi. You always tend to get like a little kind of I don't know what it is. It's the color can be a little bit duller on like the head and the scales, can't it? Like if you were to look at a Hi Utsuri versus a Ki Hi Utsuri or something like that, there's always like a slight pigment difference.
Yeah, I think again we're looking for a transition from the head to the body,
Yeah.
and those top examples, it happens seamlessly. It's very smooth transition from the head to the body. So yeah, moving forward, I think nice little project, winter grow on project for someone. Yeah, not a lot not to like from this breeder. He's a bit of a weird and wonderful sort of breeder, but not for everyone by the looks of things, mate.
Well, 50 quid start price if anyone wants to get us going on this one. Otherwise, we'll look to move it on if there's no interest. But always, like I say, try and take advantage of the first couple of lots whilst people are still scranning the tea.
I just sort of looked at myself in the camera, and I think I am possibly due a barber session. It's been quite busy recently, so I might have to treat myself tomorrow.
You've had a full-on couple of months, haven't you, mate? It's not been the easiest.
It's full on. The nature of this sort of industry is never a dull moment.
That's very true.
So I think we'll come back to this one, mate. If we've got no participants, and then a few messages about some other fish tonight. So yeah,
let's have a see what's going on next after this. There you go. So moving on to this little weapon. Otsuka Asagi. Not common to find them with Keido Gin, I think. I mean, obviously we see a lot of Keido Gin Asagi, but not necessarily from Otsuka, more of an Oya thing, but really interesting to see how this one's going to pan out, to be fair.
Well, I think Asagi in general, I was looking at Adam Byers Asagi, and quite a lot of his have got Kado Gin on his Asagi as well. So I think it is an Asagi trait in general. Obviously, the Otsuka Asagi line is one of the go-to Asagi lineages. I mean, obviously, one of the few varieties that you'll get beni developing as the fish ages. You've got the key points where you want the beni forming, and obviously on this fish, you can see it forming along the dorsal, which will just sort of complete that sort of 4-part transition of the bedding across the fish. Nice light finish. Again, if anyone's sort of asking my opinion, we all like to see the nice finish style Asagi, but they don't. The ones with longevity aren't finished when they're younger. The dark ones that have got the nice sort of everything in the right place at a young age don't make the best fish long term. So these are the examples that have got quite a high melanin content in the skin. I think Joe referred to one of a great article that we had in Koi Talk magazine about the blue actually being a form of sumi. So obviously when it responds to this harder water that we often have in the UK, it just tends to be a little bit more responsive to harder water, hence that darkening effect on the fish. So naturally they darken, and it can sort of be exaggerated in certain water conditions, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So picking them nice and light, for me, is a must.
Yeah, I'm totally with you there. I think the highlight for me though is the Benny quality on this. Like, it's so vivid. It's like that neon Benny color. And the pecks I think with age will totally be red. Like, I think the tips will probably go red as well. And I think you're gonna have this amazing like bubbling Kanoko effect, through on the side through a window. Just think it could be really appealing to quite a lot of people out there if you've not had a taste of Otsuka Asagi. Like, 55 quid, what a bargain. And we've got an amazing article. I won't give too much away with Otsuka.
Yeah.
And yeah, to have, after this article comes out, this won't be going for 55 quid, let's put it that way.
I know that is the nice thing about having sort of the access for content that we've got within Koi Talk, and although we're two separate entities, the crossover by sort of commentating on the industry and breeders and what's going on in Japan, and then Wholesale having the fish available, and then just trying for people to try and absorb content knowledge and then apply it in their ponds. So when you start, or as and when that article comes out, I totally agree with you. This fish is, going to be, this type of fish is going to be in demand. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I just think it's like when you get to know the breeders and the story behind the lineages and how much dedication and time goes into it. I mean, yeah, I just think people will be enamored with it, and then everyone will be wanting kind of that taste of it because, it's only like what we've done with the Takano stuff, to be fair, isn't it? Like, people obviously understand the quality of that line, but it's also buying into who he is and the story behind it as well. And obviously with Lee Hadfield and the exposure that he's given it as well, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on in the background there to kind of create this name. I think he was a name before he was picked up by Ricky and Lee, but I think that's only just like added to that popularity and that, and now it's probably one of the bigger names of Sanke now.
It is something that a lot of the farms in Japan are lacking, and that's branding, marketing, awareness. They don't have they're well renowned within their own circle. But your big farms like your Dinichi, Issa, Momotaro, Sakai, they've got, even Mariju, you know what I mean? He's got that famous Marushin. They've got that boom logo you instantly associate. But some of the older boys, they're just, it's beyond, they're not. It's like a breeder called Kansuke. I was talking to a good mate of mine and a customer earlier about his fish, Kansuke, small breeder, old boy, doesn't really like foreigners. I've been there a few times, been there with some Dutch people, and they barely give me the time of day. Been there with Rick, speaking the lingo, they've got a bit of respect, well, more than a bit of respect for him, because he can pick a good fish, and it just changes the atmosphere, the environment, and they open up so much more when you're on their level, and there's that degree of love and appreciation. His fish, okay, they're probably pound for pound, maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 cm smaller Nisai versus Dainichi Nisai or one of the big farms, but the quality, mate, unbelievable. Honestly, they are phenomenal. And I've had a few people message me saying, "Who's Kansuke? Who's Kansuke?" I was like, "Oh, mate, I believe I'll stand to be corrected here, but I believe he actually won GC at All Japan level many moons ago."
Wow.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a feat.
The pedigree within Japan, people know about him, but he's an old boy. He must be in his 80s, and he just loves it. But the quality of the fish are just insane. But because you take those fish and slap a Danichi sticker on it, and it changes. It changes. You know what I mean? You stick another 0 on the end of some of his fish.
I wonder whether or not we're going to see a change in that, because like I saw it when I was in Japan, of like the sons coming back and starting to work and do their apprenticeship in the business and that kind of stuff. And I wonder if as we go through generation that we'll start to see people picking up on it, and maybe some of the sons trying to be forward thinking and that kind of
Well,
stuff.
I think there is a quote that there is a change, and I hope you can still tell me if you lose me here, Joe.
Yeah, will do.
But I saw the most amazing quote the other day that summed up the mindset in koi industry. Sorry, I'm just trying to find it because I can't quite remember. It was from Shigeru Danichi, managing director.
Yeah.
I'm in Japanese on his website now. I need to find the English version. All right, sorry, bear with me. I know I'm going off topic here a little bit, but
no, I think it's good. I think people will be interested.
There was one line that he come up with. I have to scroll through his website to try and find it, but it just perfectly. It just nailed it for me. Modern day koi keeping and the knowledge of it. Oh man alive, I can't find it. So this is from the main man at Danichi Koi Farm. So this is solely previously been like Go Sanke Mad. I want to create koi that are innovative and captivating and captivate people at first sight. In order to pursue this ideal, we are passionate about our daily training. So even he's saying this is like one of the most Go Sanke orientated institutions. He knows that things have got to change. New varieties, new, because it's going to stagnate.
Yeah.
If you sell the same pair of jeans, if Levi sold the same style of jeans for 70 years, people would stop buying them.
Yeah.
They've got to put a new seam in it, or they've got to put a button on the back, or I don't know. You know what I mean? Things move on. Things gravitate towards different genres. Window ponds wasn't even a thing. Like, just the breeder is just like, oh man. So now people are now looking at the pattern from the side. What's that all about?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So we have gone off topic. Apologies about that. I do get a little bit carried away just a bit. So we're looking at 65 here. Obviously, bids are subject to VAT.
And the handling charge. Fixed prices are fixed prices with fees included. The auction fees are subject to the usual fees. The question from Ronnie, who's in our WhatsApp group, I'll post the QR code for that later. Are the prices on the WhatsApp group plus VAT or including VAT?
So on the WhatsApp group, if you're involved and if you're not, and you want little snippets of information and little cheeky insights to what we do, they are full prices, including VAT. So if, for example, a fish is priced at, I don't know, $2.95, that's what you pay. Sometimes we will say the price includes delivery. Sometimes the delivery will be additional. It's normally about 30 quid a box. So yeah. But back to the Otsuka Asagi. So I've gone off on a tangent there. 65 quid. I think moving forward, 65 quid's going to look like an absolute bargain for this one.
I think so, mate. Yeah.
Mr.
But
Hadfield.
how we doing,
Lee,
Lee?
I do, mate. I was literally just talking about you last night. I've got a Marushin jacket that I need to send to Lee. You remember I bought it
Oh
in
yeah, the charity
bomb
auction.
jacket? Yeah, it was never going to fit me. I don't know why I bothered, but yeah, I need to send. It's got Mr. Hadfield's name on it, so yeah, I need to get that sent over to him.
Awesome.
Another man that's just been on the ground in Japan. So Lee, obviously, I know you spent quite a bit of time at Otsuka. If you've got any comments about the Asagi line that they do, no doubt it's all going to be positive stuff. If it's not, keep it to yourself.
He's not an Asagi lover yet. I haven't managed to convert him yet, but maybe Japan has awoken him.
Yeah, I mean, when you see some of the absolute bombshells that come out Asagi wise, it is a little bit naughty.
Yeah.
So 65 quid. We're not really getting too much movement on that. So I think if we play the video one last time, mate.
Yeah.
If you are semi-involved, I promise you, if you don't believe me, once you read the Otsuka article that's coming out, it will be you might kick yourself.
Yeah. Question for Jonathan: if I was to buy a fish tonight, does it have to go through a dealer or can it be shipped to me directly?
So we are doing direct shipping now, Jonathan. Just to add to that, so we're doing direct delivery. It's a £30 charge for the box, and that can go direct to you. Transaction still goes through the dealer, and then we'll arrange delivery to you. So yeah, hope that clarifies that.
Well, it looks like Mike's
yeah,
walking away with a
yeah.
bargain here.
Oh yeah, that's nuts. That is, but yeah, fair play. Mark in 70.
70 quid with Mark. Anyone going to come back on that one? Left it right until the death. Yeah.
It's they're just the business, Otsuka Asagi. They really are. And yeah, hats off to Lee actually, because I know like he absolutely loves the hobby. But if you haven't checked out Lee's YouTube channel, I know you probably had loads of nice messages, Lee, but I've had loads of people just messaging me saying, "Oh, they love the content and the character and everything about it, mate." So fair play. I know you're probably happy to be back with your family, mate. But yeah, it's nice to know that all your efforts have paid off, and people have been really appreciating all the insights and yeah, a few laughs along the way as well.
Yeah.
So we're at 75. Mark, if you're coming back, we're going to try and draw a line under this one shortly. I had a price on my head for this, and yeah, we're nowhere near it. So anything, yeah, anything without a 2 at the front is yeah, pretty cheap in my opinion.
Yeah. Just got that wow factor on it.
You see the Benny coming up in the dorsal as well, so that's going to be quite not a game changer per se, but it is going to have such a visual impact on the fish.
Yeah.
When you get that orange dividing the pattern. So yeah.
Mark back in at 85.
Yeah, fair play, Mark. Well, I think that's yeah, worth every penny. So yeah. Yeah, a few other people enjoying Lee's content there as well. So yeah, if you're not follow Koi Soldier on YouTube, I am correct in saying that, Joe. Koi
Yeah,
Soldier,
yeah, the Koi Soldier, yeah.
the Koi Soldier on YouTube. Sorry, just making sure getting the name right. Make sure you give him a little follow because yeah, if you're into koi and you like a little giggle, then yeah, that's the channel for you. A few people involved now. That's the Hadfield influence, that is.
I mean, you've read the Otsuka article, I think, Chris. So, So I'm gonna try and give
Don't
not
get too
give
much
any
away.
no giving anything away, but um, it almost goes to show how rare that Tosai from Otsuka, like good examples of Asagi, can be at Tosai. It's not often you get them come across with like this. Like usually they don't look as nice as this.
Well, I think I guess it goes for every variety. Otsuka's got quite a broad mix, as you've seen. I think you commented before it's one of your favourite mixes
Yeah,
that we have. So you can imagine like a farm that's predominantly Go Sanke based, the pool of fish that they've got to select from. You imagine a farm like Otsuka, which by no means it's not a small farm, but it's by no means one of the big farms in Niigata. You imagine having quite a small pool of Asagi to select from, then having a
yeah,
very small pool of Achiba, Goshiki, Deutsch, and so on to create that mix. So all of a sudden, those chances of getting the little rockets reduce because you're working with less numbers. So pound for pound, I actually have massive respect for. I have respect for any breeder, whether it be hobbyist, professional, commercial side of things. It is hard work,
yeah.
but
It's a
they're all
slog.
chasing the dream, and you can never. You're always waiting for, even when you think you got perfection, you go, it could be better. You know what I mean? And that's the dream that keeps everyone going. There is no perfection. It's bloody close,
Mhm.
but we've seen it time and time again. Oh, that is amazing, that fish. But I just wish, you're never going to get.
Yeah,
There is, it's so subjective, isn't it? There isn't the perfect koi. And I think that's what drives everyone forward. That's why you're
yeah.
continuously looking time and time again. So, yeah, I think it's, yeah, that's the side of things that I absolutely love. So, yeah.
So we're with David at 115. Out of nowhere, we've had a few people in now. Mike's out,
Mm.
so we'll look to wrap this one up at the end of this video, guys.
Yeah, I think there's going to be quite a prominent feature, as Lee says there. It's just going to frame that face nicely. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's a great buy. Yeah, happy days.
And well done, David. First purchase of the night,
Yeah, nice.
and we'll move on. Next one's going to be fairly popular as well. Marusai Hi Utsuri, 28 centimeters. Fixed price this one, so I'll start loading my wheel up in the background.
So for those of you that aren't too familiar with this format, we've got a fixed price here. So the price that you see on screen, 195, is what you pay. No additional fees. That's inclusive of VAT, etc. The only slight add-on that you may have is a £30 delivery fee if you want direct delivery, which is absolutely fine. So I suspect female. I don't know whether I put that. I think, oh yeah, we put unsexed, but I suspect female. I'm certainly not putting my house on that, but yeah, I suspect this is female fish. Classic, what we call ichimatsu, like checkered styled sumi pattern. Now, the nice thing about the Hirasawa lineage, you've seen the condition of the tosai that come in this year. I think they took everyone by surprise because of the way the pigment was developed. Often, when you're getting young Hi Utsuri, they can be a bit cluttered. The sumi is a little bit sooty, it's a bit bitty, and the Benny windows aren't that clean. I think people struggle with the concept of going, well, how does that get to that sort of thing? You need to have a bit of faith. But the Marusai Hi Utsuri, he breeds these for fun. Honestly, that's one of the most nuts sights I've ever seen. Driving through the mountains, and there was just this one random koi house. I literally opened it up. It was boiling, like it was the snow up to like 3-4 meters high along the side of the road, and you open this room up, and there's just steam coming out everywhere. Water was pretty green. I chucked a bit. You couldn't really see much. I chucked a bit of food in, and these ponds are just all interconnected. Like you can't walk anywhere. Like, and literally, the whole polytunnel was full of Hi Utsuri.
Yeah.
And typically, when we think of Hi Utsuri, Shinoda, that's where we jump to. So I think there's value to be found in the Hi Utsuri from Marusai. And yeah, for me, nice tidy fish, nice sort of memoir on the head. So I was losing my mind there.
I think there's some different bloodlines going on here as well. I mentioned it, I think, about another one that we auctioned off recently. You can kind of see the Fukurin is a bit more prominent in these Marusai ones. Like on the Benny, you can see that scalation a bit better, which is like a different effect almost because the Shinoda ones are so vivid that you can't almost see the scalation on the Benny. So it is...
Well, I've had people before selecting Shinoda Hi Utsuri thinking that they're Deutz.
Yeah, that's exactly the illusion you get with them, isn't it?
But they're in a different bracket. I think for me, this is just a real tidy piece. You picture that as sort of 50, 60 cm. It's just a nice, you know what I mean? The patterns on, Benny quality is nice. I am a bit of a sucker for a head pattern, although I do tell people try not to be drawn in to it too much. But yeah, I just think it's a really, really nice example. I hate saying it, but quite a textbook pattern style, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
So looks like we've got a few people.
Three people on the wheel. So I'll play the video again. If anyone wants to go on the wheel, tell us now.
Yeah, so for anyone that's new, if you want to be involved with this, simply write in the comments box, and we do like a lucky spinny wheel thing. Is that a technical term for it, Joe?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, spinny wheel thing.
Spinny wheel thing. So I think that's it. So we'll bring the wheel up. Bear with me. Can you see that? So we've got Marcus Upton, Stuart Ward, and Steve 1970. Stuart Ward, well done.
Fair play. Well done, Stuart.
So if you just want to message Chris at Koi Wholesale, Chris at Koi-Wholesale with your name, number, preferred dealer, and we will get that out to you.
Yeah. Commiserations, Steve and Marcus.
So we've got another spin the wheel. This one for a Cano Kohaku. Been a couple of these little Cano Kohakus that have come across and been. I mean, I was really impressed with this one. Like the Kiwa on the side, like Marizome Kiwa, and on that just across the shoulders is really impressive. Really nice little fish.
That is such a clean fish. That Benny style is just ace. So he does do like a little bit of go Sanke, and you do get these in the mixes that come over, and you kind of sat there thinking, "Oh, is it Goshiki? Is it really like Goshiki in the making?" But yeah, this is definitely Kouhaku. But that Benny style, just a really, really clean fish. That little Dan at the back of the fish is pivotal for the harmony. Without that, it's still a lovely koi, but its image is lessened, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely, Craig. Yeah. That intensity of the Benny at that size and age is superb. Nice bit of Kuchi Benny as well. I think we've been saying that we're both suckers for button nose today, Joe.
Yeah, I think they do. I think it looks more impressive when they grow as well. Like, past 40 centimeters. I think the face when that expands out, that little bit of coochie Benny will be really, really nice. But yeah, Benny just off the scale really. Pecs in proportion, nice clean dorsal. Um, young Nisai at 22 centimeters. So I'd like to think there's a bit of growth potential in there. Um, but yeah, from a breeder, I guess we wouldn't generally associate with Kouhaku. Cano, I'm really interested to see what people think of this.
Yeah, typically people sort of associate Cano with Goshiki, but I've had some really nice Sanke from the farm in the past as well. We've had some nice Kouhaku this year as well. So yeah, I think the the sort of buzz line for this is just clean. When you just see a fish, you just go, "That's so clean."
Yeah,
Nice finished. Yeah, nice pattern definition as well. Just everything about it. Nice little growing project. Good body line. So yeah, for me, nice fish.
at 195, there's not much risk involved when you've got kind of young Nisai of this quality.
I think it's the that skin quality really it really captures your eye on the Benny. Shiroji's good, but it's the Benny that sort of steals the show for that. Got real good contrast between the two pigments. That's another thing that sort of often, when we're looking at pigment, the top examples of any variety, the white's got to be really white, the red's got to be really red, the black's got to be really black. So that's why when you start looking at varieties that have got more than two colours, the technicality of making sure that all of those three pigments, they've got to score high individually.
Yeah, yeah.
So you could have a Sanke that's got very good Sumi, very good Benny, but Shiroji is not good. Well, that overall impact on the fish and its image is lessened. So when you start layering pigments, it becomes, from a scoring metric, to get that contrast and quality in the pigment becomes harder and harder because you're dealing with 3 or 4 colours as opposed to 2, for example, or 1 in some cases.
Yeah. Well, we've got no one in at the minute, so if anyone wants to basically snap this up at 195, you just need to comment in, and we'll be moving this on to the first person that's interested by the looks of it. I'm surprised by that. I can see massive quality in this. I think at 195 it's a bit of a snip, but I don't know whether it is that breeder thing, but to me, it wouldn't faze me at all. Like you've got to look at what's in front of you, aren't you? Not necessarily sometimes the other stuff. It's got all the qualities there for me as something that could be really quite special.
I think you never really you never know, do you, with these events? So
No,
yeah, nice fish, but not for tonight. So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, this one might be a bit more popular, and people might be a bit more commonly associating this with a Cano as the breeder, Goshiki.
So Cano, one of the Goshiki lineages in Japan that could achieve size status. Typically, probably not a variety that people jump to and think, "Oh, that'll get big." I'm not saying that these will be sort of true jumbo fish, but typically Cano's put a lot of work into the sort of Asagi Sumi style on the fish. That's quite a trait, or what they call a Kyoto, of that farm. You can always spot Cano, Goshiki. They stand out. They've got a style to them, and also size and sort of body structure is what the farm is renowned for. So yeah, nice light skin. This will darken. You can ask that. That's not an issue. So you're going to get this darkening, which then has that contrast with the Benny style, and it all sort of starts to come together and make a bit more sense. as it starts to get darker. Nice sort of bit of intricacy on the pattern.
Yeah.
And
Really?
again, it's one of those varieties that people like to see the finished article, but this is a step towards something. You know what I mean? Like it's not. There's still a lot of development to go with this fish. So yeah, one to watch.
Yeah, I think at I think we've got two Goshkis tonight, and when people might have seen the preview video and the preview on Facebook, two completely different styles. I think this one for me has maybe a bit more future development. I think we both said the same thing. It's not as obvious because I think people, like you say, will look at that whiter skin tone and wonder what it's going to do. But yeah, really excited to see what this could turn into.
So you have typically like Kuro style Goshki, which are this real sort of black tone with the contrasty and floating Benny. And then the Cano style is almost like Asagi-esque, like a dark Asagi kind of robing when they're younger. And then I think the other variety is one that's a little bit more developed from memory off the top of my head.
Interesting. There's like multiple different styles of Goshki, isn't there? That's
Within one genre, yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
It's like Brewdog. Create a category within an existing category.
Yeah. Reckon New Forest, how we doing? Yeah, Lee showing the love to Cano there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Scary farm price wise as well. Man alive, I've had to have a chair a few times when I've been trying to buy fish there. I think that sometimes is a little bit of the disconnect between sort of fish in the UK, sort of having a landed price ready to go, and then trying to hand pick fish. It don't go far at farms like this, mate. Let's put it that way.
No. Because your eye's always going to be drawn to like the super amazing pieces they have as well, aren't they? When you're over there, you get wowed by what they've got in.
Oh, I mean, it is fun, mate. He doesn't really do bang average stuff. So yeah, even sort of low end fish, just still make your eyes water.
Yeah. Evening, Alan.
Just haven't got it in for you.
After I told him a patterned Kouhaku wouldn't win in Kouhaku.
So I think we're done here, mate. So let's move on.
Quick question from Jason. What will happen to the Sumi on the edges of the Benny? I think that's probably just showing how the Sumi's starting to progress, isn't it?
Start forming on that lighter skin. So yeah, you sometimes get with Cano Goshiki robing within the Benny as well. So yeah, it's a little bit different to your true Kuro style Goshiki, where everyone sort of flops to that real floating thick Benny style. But like I said before, there's different attributes that this farm sort of focus on.
Well, we'll move on. We have got another Goshiki coming up later to this little Omosako Shiro Utsuri Ginrin.
Wow.
Yeah, the Ginrin on this is pretty mad.
Do you know what I like about these types of fish? Is just watching Lee's comments there. I like fish that are, especially for like people that don't want to take too much of a punt. They want to be a little bit risk adverse, just being able to read the fish quite easily. Body line's pretty good, Ginrin's pretty banging, and the Sumi is sat there just to see. You just got to sit and wait that one. Got that big
Ye-
memoir streak coming across the face. Yeah.
It's
Sumi's
almost got. It's got like a really different skin luster on the head. I don't know what's going on there or how that's going to turn out. Like it's got like a almost like Ginrin on the top of its gill plates. I don't know what that is. It's like a luster.
called iridophores.
Iridophores.
They are sort of metallic pigment receptors within the skin. So this is where you get them not on, not Ginrin per se, when you get it on tissue. So you get it on the head, or you get it on a Deutz metallic fish, or it's within Ginrin scales. But you know, when you get these shiny bits at the top of the gills or on the head, that's what it's referring to. It's just a pocket of these iridescent like pigment receptors that give off like a metallic, shine.
Yeah.
On non-metallic fish, so like on the head, for example, you'll tend to find that will be absorbed and dulled as it ages. Tends to be like a younger koi trait.
You can see that Ginrin right down past the lateral line as well. Like Ginrin is exceptional on that, but it just needs time. I think that the skin on the head is not quite thickened up yet in terms of, even though it's small. Even though it's Nisai, it's still quite small and immature. I suspect that like in the right conditions, as this grows out, like that skin could thicken up on the
Oh
head.
yeah, for me, sort of quality-wise, yeah, it's cock on.
Yeah.
Sometimes people with Shiros, they like to have the sumi up, but they're sort of like the ones that tend to go for silly money, because
Yeah.
the breeders know that they're often, I mean, like Omosako, the way he selects fish, often it'll be just skin and body, white skin, body. Sumi will come,
Yeah.
the more sumi comes, generally the better it makes the fish.
Mhm.
So yeah, but from this particular breeder, again, farm that I don't know whether you've had much dealing with Omosako Shiro. I know you like Shiros, but
I had a male one that, but it's not the best story.
okay. Sorry
I,
to bring up.
no, well, I'll tell you what it is anyway. I had a male and I bought it in the shop, and all the sumi was up on it. It wasn't all the way on the top of the skin. Then I put it in the pond, raised the temperature. It all dropped off. Put the temperature down again for that winter. It all came back up. I was really excited. Temperature started to go up again, and it's gone. Like it literally turns into a Shiro Muji, but as soon as the temperatures drop, it all comes back up again. It's like it can't handle the temperature. It's bizarre. So there you go.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Joe.
Really, really bizarre fish that. I can't get my head around it.
So let's move on, mate.
Yeah.
We've got the mighty Arsenal playing West Ham tonight.
So I'll be interested to see whether or not people are a bit more willing to go in on this one. So 125 fixed price, including fees. And this one's a bit more obvious.
Yeah, I think with this one, it's that sort of ippon meaning like one continuous Benny pattern. Benny plates are a lot bigger. You got those nice intricacies as well. So you've got that black face, then you got that sort of entwined sort of pigment that loops around the fish. Obviously, nice body line, and you've got that more Goshiki-esque sort of finish. That sort of typical Goshiki style that a lot of people sort of affiliate with the variety. That dark base and the contrast on the pigment. So yeah, sort of like almost not quite Inazuma, but this sort of singular Benny plate. Yeah, I like that, and I've got a little vision for it as the fish gets bigger. So yeah, I think that's always an important important thing. You're going to get a bit of coloration in the fins as well. So you're going to get this sumi developing in the tail and both pec fins. So again, that's going to sort of frame the fish quite nicely. The white pecs look a little bit out of place at the moment with that darker base, but again, that doesn't bother me in that sense. So yeah.
Craig's asking, does it shipping is additional 30 quid extra, Craig?
Yeah, if you want direct delivery, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of trying to position these in a retail environment. Cano Goshiki. Yeah. Don't know. I think at this sort of price point, that's not bad value, to be honest with you, mate.
No. Yeah, I'll be excited to
Got
see
Christmas
how.
around the corner.
Yeah, yeah. It's that time of the year, isn't it? God, don't
It is,
say
mate.
that. No, I think this one will be Craig in. Well done, mate. Currently, you're the only one in, so you currently winning this at this point. But no, I'll be really interested to see what happens when it does the Notorious Chris expansion, because that's going to be, I think, the game changer for that pattern, isn't it? I mean, I'm quite happy with how it is there, but I think taking this fish to the next level will be when that body pops out, and just let that pattern grow with the fish.
Probably not sort of mentioned it either, but the skin style is nice as well. It's probably a little bit underexposed in the video. I think it was one of those days that was quite cold and the camera was fogging up a little bit, mate. But the Benny style looked quite nice.
Yeah.
That intensity to the Benny. So then you get that contrast, that little window at the back where that sumi style is going to start forming. That's just going to change the whole impression of the fish. Then you get the darkening of the pec fins and the tail fin, and you just frame the fish really nicely. So yeah. I mean, if Craig doesn't win this and he's the only one in, then that's unbelievable. That's really bad luck.
Yeah, very true. I know Rick at New Forest breeds quite a lot of Goshiki, and he likes this one as well. So there you are. But Craig, we'll pass this one on to you because we've had nobody else in at this stage. So well done, Craig.
You could just make sure you message me, Craig, Gerald. Yeah. There you go.
And we'll move on to fish number H, which I know you like this fish quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that Shiroji quality, can't you?
That's epic, mate.
Like symmetrical head pattern as well, which is just really satisfying.
That face shape as well. Benny style. So this fish didn't really have a lot of sumi in it. At this price point, that's epic. The qualities of this fish. Tajima forming in the fins nicely. That's just really concreting that sumi style that's coming up left, right, and centre now. Lots of subo sumi in that middle gap where the shiroji is. Lovely head shape as well. That's something that, yeah, when you see a fish that is nicely proportioned in the head and it's just got that nice pattern style that just sits between the eyes and then floats straight into the body. Yeah, it's just banging, mate. Nice transition as well. That Benny depth is superb. So yeah, for me, that's a great piece in the making, mate. Full stop.
Me, like personally, one of the like non-negotiables on Sanke is Tejime. Like, yeah, I'd buy a fish without it in the hope that it does come, but Tejime is such a big part of Sanke for me. And the one feature I like is that leading ray on the dorsal. Can you see that Tejime just in the leading ray? I think it adds like because you got it in both pecs, you got it in the leading ray, the dorsal as well. It's just really nice, and it's really clean Tejime as well, because sometimes you can get it where maybe 2 or 3 rows all have it in, and it can be quite blocky, and I think that can take away from the illusion of it of a Sanke.
I think this is a sign of things to come. Like when we're referring to the sumi stripes in the fin here, just in case people are not following. When it forms within the, just loosely within the fin, that's telling me that the sumi capacity in the fish is quite wild.
I'm not sure if this one is Dragon Ball. Do
No,
you
it's not
remember?
Dragon Ball. No.
No. Yeah, really special pieces.
There might be some genetics in there somewhere. But yeah, just super clean fish, and I am seriously falling in love with Sanke at the moment. I've done the full circle. Started off with Kouhaku Sanke. I'm just coming back to Sanke. Every fish that I'm sort of being drawn to for the last sort of 6 months is Sanke. I just think that they're just epic. They really are. Such a clean fish. The Benny type, the Shiroji, the Sumi, obviously not to mention the genetics that the Sakai. We're not even mentioning the farm.
No.
I've been waxing lyrical about like what I like about the fish, but we've not even mentioned the genetic capability of the Sakai fish farm DNA.
Do you think that you appreciate them more now because you understand how difficult they are? Like this, probably the most difficult variety.
No, I've always sort of understood that if you got a top, if you got Go Sanke, Showa, Kouhaku Sanke, all having the highest standard of scoring metrics, Sanke is always going to win because they're the most technical of all the fish. When you speak to farm breeders, oh Sanke, oh they're such a, you know what I mean. There's nowhere to hide with them. You've got 3 colours for a start, which makes it hard. Just that in its plainness. 3 colours versus 2. Then the placement, then the Sumi style, then the body structure. Everything about Sanke is hard to produce. Full stop.
You can hide a lot of sins with Showa, can't you? And with Kouhaku, you've got 2 colours.
Yeah. So Sanke in that sense are hence why I love a good variety of anything. To be fair, I'm not particularly pigeonholed in that sense. If it's a good example of anything, I'll enjoy it and appreciate it for what it is. But Sanke, I just think Showa, I've been in love with for years and years and years. Like they've just been my go-to variety. I love watching them develop, but the refinement of Sanke and that the ability from a lot of farms to get them to biblical sizes and maintain this sort of quality is just awesome, mate.
So we've got 2 people in, so at the end of this I'll spin the wheel.
Real nice transition from the head to the body as well. Subo Sumi. Yeah. We'll probably talk about this style of fish all night long. I really ticks the box. Good body line as well. Just I'll shut up now. So type of fish I would buy.
Yeah, I can see that. So we've got Graham Biffin and Michael Thompson in, and we'll spin the wheel. Good luck. Oh, it's gonna be close.
Oh my
God, Graham, well done.
I actually lifted myself off my seat there.
That was so close. Commiserations to Michael.
Michael, that was. I was thinking we're gonna have to get VAR out there.
Yeah, draw the lines. Yeah. Unlucky. So Graham, if you can email Chris with your details, that'd be brilliant. And we've got 2 more fish tonight, so we'll move on. Now these have been popular over the last couple of weeks, haven't they?
Wow. That's really nice, isn't it?
Yeah. You can see that colour when it comes around this side of the bowl. It's just the scale line as well.
It's those sort of dark features of the face as well. around the eyes and the face. Fair play, Michael. That's good to see everyone takes it in good spirits.
Yeah. I think he missed out on one earlier as well. Unfortunate, Michael. But yeah, the two scales on either side of the gill plates as well just had a little extra feature.
Yeah, I hadn't even spotted that. Yeah, I've just been sort of falling in love with that face. But yeah, that actually adds a lot of harmony to the. Yeah, if it's just got one of those, it's going to be really frustrating to look at.
Yeah, it's just really well balanced, isn't it? Really nice.
It, right? Yeah,
And
I don't
50
think
quid.
I don't think you can get a more contrasting variety in terms of the pigment.
No.
That scale alignment is nuts.
50 quid start price on this, guys.
Yeah, that's mad. I think I've told this story, must have told it before. In fact, I know I have told it, but seeing these at this farm, when they get up to sort of 65, 70 cm, he's got quite a lot of them, and it's a light green base to the fiberglass, and just seeing them like, oh mate. So I've got a real sort of nostalgic kind of connection to this variety. And it's all about the cleanliness, isn't it? Nice, clean style of pigment, that contrast, that dark characteristic in that scale line. Rick saying there, scale alignment is awesome. Yeah, cool fish. What have we put on there? Unsexed. I haven't sexed this, but am I leaning towards female, Joe?
I think if you asked me, I'd say the same thing as well.
Yeah. Sometimes
guarantee it.
Yeah. Thing is, it's quite easy to highlight. Some people think it's quite easy to highlight, but when you stick your name to something, and it could be a little bit of a twitcher, and you can't guarantee it. So I had a guy saying to me not too long ago, I think I told you, Joe, that, oh, I've got a load of females. I was like, oh, bloody hell, you're lucky, like all females. And he was like, yeah. I said, how do you sex them? And he was like, well, if I get sperm out of them, male, and if they're not, they're female. I was like, oh, mate. I was like, no, that's not how it works.
There's some fish that you can instantly tell, and like you'll feel the head, and the head feels like sandpaper, and you go, right, instantly it's a male. And then some of them you'll feel the head and the gill plates are smooth, and you'll go, right, that's one of like 4 things that that's not the only thing to sex. But then the pecs and the vent, and even if all things are leaning towards female, and you do it and you try to get the sperm out and you can't guarantee that it's still female at that point, because the water temperature and other things. I don't know. I still won't put my name against it.
There's a lot of variables, mate. Yeah, there's a lot of variables. Water condition. Have they been on food? Have they been off the food? Have they been in cold water for a long time? The development of the vent as well. Different levels of maturity, much like you or I. I mean, I had a beard when I was like 6 years old, so everyone knew that I was a bloke. But every same with any animal, they mature at different stages. So it's one of those, mate. To be sure, I need to be seeing physical signs rather than just a hunch. So I will often say I suspect female if I can't guarantee it. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think people will just appreciate us trying to. It's only never take us at.
But sorry to interject there. It's priced accordingly.
Yeah.
So to guarantee female, it changes things.
Yeah. Agreed.
Believe me.
So we've got quite a few people fighting over this one, Chris. So we might have to let this one rumble on in the background. We've got a question from Jam the Lion D Ship internationally. Not at the moment.
Yeah, not currently. Watch this space though. We are in the process of dealing with some paperwork with CFAS. Yeah, watch this space. He's exporting is the problem. Now that we're outside of the EU, a lot of the paperwork side of things has changed. So physically shipping the fish is not a problem. It's a paper exercise, which, as it probably won't surprise you, Joe, is a complete ball ache, mate.
They never make it easy, do they?
No.
Philip Dyke and Marcus Upton battling over this one. 175 at the minute. These have been really popular, aren't they? People seem to be really enjoying these when we put these on these streams.
I think they're like one of those They're not like a variety that you'd have multiples of in the pond, are they? But just a nice, a nice one just to add a bit of contrast, mix it up a little bit. Often you find that scale alignment only gets darker with age as well. So if that sort of pigment stays clean throughout the fish, that contrast just gets enhanced. That face pattern calls that sort of mask that it's got.
Yeah.
Real dark features. Yeah, really nice example of that, mate. Cleanliness on the head as well, that's another thing.
I think it's quite unique as this one as well because it's got the white tips along the dorsal and the pecs. Like the other examples we've had haven't had that, and it's just little subtle differences. The two scales behind the gill plates as well.
Yeah.
But you just that head and the scale alignment, you can't take away from that. Phil Dyke saying he's out.
Fair enough.
We'll play the video one last time if anyone wants to beat Marcus's offer. Otherwise, we'll move on to the final fish of the evening. Really nice buy, this one.
Yeah, cool fish, mate. Really clean. Yeah, nice addition. He's quite a window-esque pond as well, isn't it? Window-esque kind of fish.
Yeah. Well done, Marcus.
Yeah, fair play, Billy.
So we will move on to the final fish of the evening.
Yeah.
This little chunk. I've been enjoying photographing these Achibas. I have to say they behave nicely in the bowl, and the body shape of all of these Kokai Achibas has been phenomenal. We've got Stephen straight away. I haven't even seen the video yet. Straight in, knows what he wants.
Just a really nice tone, aren't they? I think that's the thing that strikes me with them. We've got a lovely tone and pigment to them, especially now that water's sort of cooled down a little bit. You're getting that real autumnal kind of style pigment. Yeah, well, I must admit I am a massive soft spot for Achiba in general.
Yeah, I can see why. They're a nice fish to like, really, aren't they?
I just think you've got the sort of character and temperament of like a chagoid, but you've got a bit of pattern.
Yeah.
I'm also a massive fan of Sorrel Boy as well. Well, they don't get many. Richard, thank you, my man. Neil. So my family, my wife's family are all diehard West Ham fans. All season ticket holders, home and away. So yeah, it's always nice to put one over on them. In fact, on my wedding day, my father-in-law said, "Oh, just to welcome you to the family, Chris. Here's the family tartan or pattern or something like that." And he got a West Ham shirt out with my name on the back. Yeah, I just lobbed it in the bin.
Brilliant. So we're with Steve at 125. Nice bit of Coochie Benny on this as well. I've just realised.
Nice bit of subtlety. I thought we might have a few people in for this one.
Me
you know
too.
what? It's one of those varieties that I get asked for the most. Got any achiever? Any achiever? They're really hard to get hold of. Like, really hard to get hold of.
Marcus back in again.
I can't. The Kokai ones that we've had in this year, just that tone to the pattern, just so nice, mate.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it. You know, nice head shape as well there. That big sort of head pattern just sets the tone for the rest of the fish. So, yeah.
We have had some impressive achiever this year, though. Some really
there's just one of them varieties, mate, that just, yeah.
The memorable as well, like the good examples stick in your mind. I can, the good examples of Sanke Kouhaku Showa that we've had. I just see so many of them, whereas a good achiever like sticks in my mind, and you might remember it.
Yeah,
they just don't come along too often. But no, I'm excited for whoever ends up with these because, yeah, we've sold some good ones in these auctions last few weeks. Marcus Upton at 145. See if Steve wants to reply to that. Play the video again. I think we've got a few of these listed on our website as well, haven't we, Chris?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Well, I say I believe so, yeah. I put them on there. I don't know why I said that. Yeah.
So it looks like it's going on with Marcus unless anyone wants to respond. Give it another play of the video and then we'll close this one out. Well done, Marcus. Looks like this one's going on with you as well. Well done.
Happy days. Nice little duet of koi at the end there, Marcus.
Yeah, he's making a right collection.
See a question coming at the bottom there. I'm probably not going to answer it now, Jan, but we do a question time on a Thursday night. We also have a podcast as well that's going to be up and running shortly. So, yeah, probably one that we can add to there and expand on that at a later date, if you could just bear with us on that one. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think that tonight, mate. Oh, yeah, bloody hell.
Last thing to any of you who haven't,
busy.
yeah, you've been putting loads of awesome content in there, and we seem to get a spike of people joining when we put it up on these live streams. So if you haven't already, get your camera out on your phone and scan this QR code. It'll take you to our WhatsApp group. What are you putting in there, Chris?
Oh, all sorts, mate. Just whatever I get inspired by, really. Some of it's just like some top shelf material that is just pure filth, and then other bits are just sort of bits and pieces that we're doing at the farms. I'll try not to go too mad with it. So I don't want people getting bombarded all the time. But yeah, not had too many people leaving the group, so I think it must be going all right, mate. So yeah.
No, that's it's been fun to see.
A little bit of access behind the scenes, I guess that's the best way of putting it.
Yeah. And question from Craig. Yeah, anyone tonight who's won a fish, if you could just email Chris at koi-wholesale.co.uk with your name, phone number, preferred koi dealer, and the reference number, that'd be brilliant. And yeah, we'll look to see you all guys next week. I think we've got another preview video going out later this week, aren't we, or early next week for next week, and some different stuff again.
Yeah. So we'll see you then, and join the WhatsApp group if you're up for it, and come on Arsenal.
All right, guys, have a good evening.
See you
Speak to you
everyone.
soon.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.